Once upon a time, a student monk, disillusioned and frustrated, approached his master with a deep desire to leave the temple. "Master," he began, "I can no longer stay here. The environment is unbearable, and I feel like I'm losing myself. I want to find a peaceful, quiet monastery, away from all the distractions and toxicity." The master, noticing the distress in the student's voice, calmly asked, "What is troubling you, my student? Why do you feel the need to leave? Tell me what is wrong with this temple." The student monk sighed and said, "Master, it's not the temple itself, but the people. The monks here, they are always talking about politics, bickering over things that don't matter. Some of them gossip constantly, about me, about you, and about others. They fill the air with negativity. And then there are those who do nothing all day, but waste time in idle chatter, gossiping about everyone. I can't focus on my spiritual practice in such an environment. How can I grow spiritually when surrounded by this toxic energy? Please, Master, allow me to leave. I long for a place where I can be at peace, where there are no toxic people around me." The master monk listened with patience and empathy, fully absorbing the student's grievances. After a moment of contemplation, he spoke gently. "I understand your frustration, my student, but before you leave, I ask you to do one last thing for me. Will you?" The student, eager for his freedom, replied without hesitation, "Of course, Master. I will do anything you ask. Just tell me what I must do." The master monk nodded, stood up, and fetched a spoonful of water. Handing the spoon to the student, he said, "Here is your task. Take this spoon, filled with water, and walk around the entire monastery. But there is one condition. You must return to me without spilling even a single drop of water. If you can do this, I will let you go to the peaceful monastery that you desire." The student, believing the task to be simple, accepted without question. He carefully took the spoon and, with determination, began walking around the monastery. With each step, his focus sharpened, his eyes locked on the spoon, ensuring that not a drop would fall. Every time he passed by groups of monks, whether they were talking, gossiping, or engaged in meaningless discussions, his attention never wavered from the spoon. His concentration was so intense that the outside world seemed to disappear. After hours of careful walking, the student monk finally returned to his master. "Master," he said triumphantly, "I have done as you asked. I carried the spoon around the entire monastery and did not spill a single drop of water. Now please, as you promised, let me go to the peaceful monastery." The master smiled warmly at his student and said, "You have completed the task well, my student. But before you leave, answer me this. While you were walking around the monastery, carrying the spoon, did you hear the monks talking about politics? Did you notice them gossiping or speaking negatively about anyone?" The student monk, surprised by the question, thought for a moment, and then shook his head. "No, Master," he replied. "I didn't hear anything. I was so focused on the spoon, on not spilling the water, that I didn't notice any of those things." The master's smile grew as he nodded in understanding. "Exactly, my student. You see, when you are fully focused on your goal, all the distractions, negativity, and noise around you lose their power. You no longer hear them, because your mind is consumed by your purpose. The more you concentrate on what truly matters, the less the chatter and gossip of others can affect you. The master paused, letting his words sink in, and then continued, "Wherever you go, my student, whether it's this temple or another, whether you stay here or move to a peaceful monastery, you will always encounter negative people. There will always be someone who gossips, someone who speaks poorly of others, someone who engages in meaningless chatter. It's not the place that makes you at peace. It's your focus and your ability to rise above the noise. True peace comes not from running away from these things, but from learning how to stay centered amidst them." The student monk stood silent, contemplating the wisdom of his master's words. The truth of the lesson began to dawn on him. The master continued, "In life, if you constantly focus on other people's words, their behaviors, and their opinions, you will always feel disturbed. You will always feel pulled away from your true path, from your higher purpose. The more attention you give to external distractions, the more lost you become. But if you focus on yourself, on your goals, your path, and your spiritual journey, then all the negativity and gossip will simply fade into the background. It will become nothing more than meaningless noise." The master leaned forward, his voice calm but firm. "This does not mean that you should ignore others or live selfishly. It simply means that your primary focus should be on your own path. You must be committed to your growth, your peace, and your purpose. Only then will the negativity of others lose its hold on you." He continued, "Running away will not solve the problem. Wherever you go, you will find people who frustrate you, who speak ill of you, or who spread negativity. If you are not happy here, you will not find happiness anywhere. True peace comes from within, and if you learn to cultivate it here, in this place, then you can carry it with you wherever you go." The student monk bowed deeply, his mind clear, his heart at ease. He had come to his master seeking an escape from the external world, but he left with a deeper understanding of the internal journey. There was no need to run away. Peace, he realized, was something he could create within himself, no matter the circumstances around him. Moral: true peace and happiness are found within. When you focus on your own path and purpose, the noise of the outside world becomes irrelevant. The key to serenity lies not in escaping your surroundings, but in mastering your own mind.